Welcome to the Prep Pigskin Report podcast.
Welcome to PPR podcast number 49. My name is Paul. The man to my right is Burt Grossman. Burt, would you like to introduce our special guest?
I would. New team member on the PPR, Coach Charles James.
Coach James of San Diego Caver fame. Coach, welcome to the team.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, you've got the lid, and you just don't have the lid that fits yet, right?
Yes, not yet, but next time you see me, I will have this on.
All right, well, Coach, for those who don't know, Coach James, a state champion coach at San Diego High. You took that program to heights maybe no one expected it could reach. You're now going to be doing a segment for the PPR called The James Gang, which will be a feature of, we're going to get our hooks into these kids even before the high school level. Yeah. Explain a little bit what you're going to be doing.
We were just reaching out to a lot of the youth guys, getting our, getting those guys in here before they become, high school stars. So, getting a face with these guys and them meeting you. So much of them watch your show and they're excited. So reaching out to a lot of youth guys who's in control of that. We have Stephen Cooper. I reached out to Brian Brown. Reed Dudley. These guys are hooked into these youth guys, and we made some contacts, and we're trying to get them in here early.
Absolutely.
So are you going to go out and do like a segment on site, or are they going to come into the studio?
We're going to do a segment on site. Hopefully we can get out to a couple practices and things like that and get a little bit more of their stories and just to try to get them a little bit more exposure as well as showcase their teams as well.
Coach Moses has to be part of this because what that East Lake Panther program has got about, man, what a pipeline the D1 offers they have.
Oh yeah, and it's a great thing actually seeing these guys, get all the way to the next level from high school. I've seen a lot of them from youth and see their stories and go on. So I'm very excited to get out the high school realm and actually go and see them at a young age. I love the youth experience just because it's so much fun, and you see these guys going out there giving everything they have and for the love of the game. So I love it.
I think Clark's offering NIL deals to play for his AYF team.
As somebody who's coached this game, what's the difference between, because I was Coach Clark seems to me like, well, man, I'd be offering him a high school. I'd be offering him a college gig the way he's had the success level he's had. What is the difference between being a coach at the youth level to the high school level to maybe even the collegiate level?
The difference is probably like the speed of the game. Is the difference when you see it, and you see every now and then you'll see some guys that actually can make that jump from youth to high school varsity teams. Modern Day had a couple of those guys that came in as freshmen. I always had one or two, but the speed of the game, the size of the game, and the knowledge of the game. A lot of these young guys, when I came up, we were just having fun out there. But a lot of these young guys now, they're football IQ is out of this world. Stephen Cooper's son, Kai, I've known him since he was a baby, and I mean, he speaks in NFL form. So, yeah.
So let me ask you, because 7-on-7 is just pretty much taking over high school football, it seems. You see that coming in youth? Yeah,
it's taken over. It's kind of like the travel basketball realm right now, and it's a good thing. I think people, we tend to think that 7-on-7 is new. 7-on-7 has been here for a long time. It's just not in the magnitude of club teams. So now you're able to join different clubs, play with different players from different schools and things of that nature. I think it's a good thing, but I also think that we still need to have some form of representing your high school and playing other sports as well year long.
Because it almost seems like, if you look like 5-10 years down the road, are kids even going to be playing high school anymore, just doing, because you're getting so many offers out of 7-on-7 now, it's like, why put pads on and risk getting hurt? Is that going to be down the road? Some kids.
I don't necessarily think that they would get offers off of 7-on-7 and not football. They would have to put some pads on. But to be honest with you, I have seen some 7-on-7s where they're actually adding in the defensive guys running at the quarterback. I think that's kind of cool.
So is it still 7-on-7, or the numbers change if you have guys?
It changes every year, it seems.
So they'd be 9-on-7 or something?
That's a run drill.
Yeah.
Come on, you remember that.
I haven't seen it in San Diego, but in LA, I have seen they added like a DN chasing the quarterback right on the snap. So I seen that on social media. It's pretty cool. I would like to see it.
Quick release then.
Yeah.
Quick release stuff. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you the coach of San Diego High anymore?
Well,
hold on. That was my next question.
That's okay.
And let me preface it, because I was at Hoover in, like 2012 and right before you got there. And we played them, and that was probably the worst high school program I'd ever seen. I mean, from everything. And to be a state champ within like a few years just was incredible. So when you stepped down, I think we were all kind of shocked. So back to your question, Paul.
All right, Coach, let me ask it again. Coach, why aren't you the coach at San Diego High anymore?
Well, I actually been coaching for a long time, over 20 years. I started coaching in 2001 with Coach Glenn Goins, who was also my Pop Warner coach coming up. And so my daughter, Charlize, was actually literally like maybe 2 weeks old at the time. So giving back and going through things, and then her going to college, then my youngest one right now, she's getting into sports, and she's like an academic brainiac, so she's doing some things outside of that realm, the science clubs and stuff like that. And I miss out a lot of them and family members and stuff like that. So I want to spend a little bit more time with my family. My daughter's going to San Diego State, so I'm gonna be watching her run track and things of that nature and stuff like that. And it was just the right time to do it. We had a young group that came in, so I believe that with the new coach coming in, he's able to take this young group and take them all the way through instead of me in the middle of sophomores or something like that I already built a relationship with.
So is this a sabbatical just for a little bit, or is this a retirement?
This is a retirement. So Coach James will probably never be a head coach again in high school. I've had other opportunities at the college level and things of that nature. So if I ever become a coach again, it will be as assistant coach if it's high school level, but either head coach on youth or I'll jump into the college realm.
Please keep this record. How old are you, Coach?
I'm 43.
43. A lot can change. When you're 43, you should never say forever or never.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say, well, yeah, I guess you're right.
A lot can change.
Yeah.
Look, I said I'd never work with you again. And
That's true. After that one problem we had with Poway, I think it was. Yeah, that's true.
And now look at
You,
Now we're like two peas in a pod. Coach, just while we're on the topic and while you're decked out in red and while, because you're like the third favorite James in the family with as far as I'm concerned. Can you brag on your daughter a little bit about, were you surprised that she wasn't the track athlete of the year?
No, we had some great athletes track here. To be honest with you, I'll say this on record. I thought Bean from Poway would be track athlete of the year just for the fact that I think it went kind of unnoticed that she took first place in 3 events in CIF, which was amazing. So that was a shocker. But all the girls that were up for it, well deserving for everybody.
And plus, I mean, it's not like her career has been without accolades.
Oh, no, yeah.
I mean, geez. And what a way to go out as a state champion, huh?
Oh, yeah. She did. I think you guys were one of the first ones to even give her interviews and stuff like that. And she was a 9th grader when she started getting ranked early. So she watches all the time. She got beat by Miss Sinclair. And no, she did. She was catching her back, but she had a head start. She talks about that all the time. But that was the first week that she was ranked. So to see her start there and in there, it was great.
My favorite. Did you ever see our video we ran? We showed Charlize, Mom, and then Dad running together, and we put them in 3 boxes. Dad's video looked like somebody had doctored it and sped it up. Just.
I gotta say this, Paul. I ran 10.5, long jump 24.2. I beat Arnie Robinson's record. I was a pretty good athlete.
I know. I like to bust you on it.
Yeah,
because it was way back when, when they just had made motion cameras.
Yeah.
Was it black and white or no?
It was kind of grainy. It was hard to tell.
No VCR tape? Yeah. I remember those days. Hey, I have to ask this, because we ask everybody. It's not going to be who's going to be on the podium this year. I'm going to ask you that later, though, because I have to ask everybody that. What do you think of all the transfers? You think that's good for high school football, or you think that's bad?
I'm from the old school. I kind of feel that, play where you're supposed to play. And even though you have transfers here and there, I transferred from San Diego High to Morris High School. I did 1 year at San Diego High, and then I transferred to Morris. But I literally moved, and I was in that area at first, and then I moved. So I understand when people move and things of that nature. To have a high school portal or what's going on right now, I think it makes Joe's job very hard,
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like whatever works for your family. So if it works for your family to move and it helps kids out in certain schools in certain areas, you got to make those decisions as a family.
Can I go back in history? Because, Coach, you and I go way back. I remember my question's about the cancel culture and what coaches are dealing with in 2022. I remember back when you were at UC and the water got hot for you, and I remember saying, geez, I'd have this man coach my kids any day of the week. And can you just, I've always wanted to get your advice on that, because I've often sometimes find a target on my back, people being critical. How do you get through a time like that? And then what's your advice to the modern day coach who might experience it even in even more severe conditions than you did way back when?
Just stay with your family and stay with your positive people that's in your program, administration and things of that nature. I had a very supportive administration that helped me through that, as well as almost every parent that was in my program, as well as my kids. So those are the things that kind of help you through it. It'll be tough times on certain issues and things of that nature. I do know we have issues from cheer to baseball to basketball and every other sport, so it's not just football. But I mean, those are the things that goes with the job. Is this, you have to understand that it might come one day.
Yeah, well, let me follow up on that, because you had the backing of the. Nowadays, it seems like the administration is so afraid to support their coaches. They're often the first to, the cut bait.
I can't really speak on that part, because both of my administrations that I worked with was very supportive. I never really had, but I've heard stories about other people, but I haven't went through that. Miss Franny at San Diego High is great, and Mr. Olivero at UC, he was a great principal as well. So I never really had to deal with unsupportive administrations.
But they're out there, and the problem is you could have 90 praises, and if two parents get together and aren't happy about something, usually the administration listens to the 2 and not the 90.
Yeah, you really have to be dialed in to your admin. Mr. Coover is San Diego High's AD, one of the best ADs I've ever had. I mean, he's just so caring, and his thing is it's not a no, it's a how can we make this happen? And those are the people that you need on your side. It's like, hey, we need this or we need that, or I have an issue with this parent. He's never going to just leave you out there and say deal with it. He's more like, okay, let's all sit down and come to the table. So I've had that support, and I feel that it, one of the living legend coaches, I won't say his name, but he told me as a young coach, if you don't have support, get out of here.
Yeah.
I think I know who that coach is. Yeah. Hey, let me ask you this. Being that you want to spend more time with the family, and being that you kind of want to get away from football, why join the PPR? What's the attraction for you there?
Oh man, the PPR is always a dream, to even, I mean, at one point in time when you called me by my first name was just like amazing to me. Having Burt Grossman.
Stop.
Dead serious. Having Burt Grossman call me, I still have recorded just in case he says anything negative about me. I have that.
Yeah, which is frequent. I mean, he's quick to criticize anybody.
Yeah.
But Burt Grossman said live on PPR that I was one of the best coaches in San Diego, and that's a very high honor. And so going through the realm, looking at you guys and seeing the show, it's nationally syndicated. It's like, who wouldn't want to be on the PPR and see the next stars come up?
And it's true. I brought up earlier, people don't realize how deep in the hole San Diego was when you got there. And I went to Hoover, and it was not as bad, but it's hard to turn it around that quick.
Oh, yeah.
We weren't state champs either.
And I'd say this, I definitely, for all the young coaches coming out right now, there's a lot of young coaches, and they look up to you guys. They look up to me, and sometimes I'll meet guys, and they're like, oh, wow, Coach James. I don't look at myself like that. I'm just like, I'm just a regular coach. But I remember being a young coach and seeing Paul Rudy for the first time, and him saying, hey, Coach James, I think it was like week 3 or something like that at UC, and I'm like, man, he knew my name, you know, so it's amazing to even be here with you guys on this level right now.
You know what's freaky about the show now, Coach, having done it for 24 years, is we have kids that were playing for you that now have kids who are appearing on we're into like our 3rd generation.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that if you want to feel old.
Oh yeah.
You look young.
It's weird.
You look young, Paul.
Very old. You know,
Thanks.
I was downtown at the Gas Lamp, a couple months ago, and normally downtown, there's adults, there's college kids and stuff like that. I heard Coach James down there, and I'm like, oh, okay, somebody that works with me. And when I looked, it was somebody I coached, and we were at the Embassy Suites, and one of the guys came up and said, is this the Cavers? Oh, this is Coach James. And he was like, you coached me back. I'm like, man, okay, that,
I was going to ask you about that, because I thought that was a very cool thing you did for your kids, was week 1, have them stay at a hotel, much like they would do at a collegiate or NFL level.
Yeah.
What was the thinking behind that? Because I'm sure it didn't come cheap.
Oh, no.
So why did you do that?
It was something I did at all my teams. I think you guys were the first to publicize it. You guys actually took a whole day with us my first year at San Diego High and seeing what we went through. But we were doing that at UC. I was doing that when I was coaching Morris JV. But it came from college, playing for Coach John Robinson at UNLV. We regardless of if we were at home or not, we stayed at the hotels. And he wanted to keep us tight-knit, tight bonding, keep us around each other. And not only that, he was able to have meetings after meetings and meetings about meetings. So I was able to do that as well with my guys to just keep them focused for the week 1. It's the spin-off for the season. You really want to start off right. But you're able to meet with your guys, like when you have your meetings and they go home. Well, if they're staying overnight, you're able to have meetings at 10 o'clock at night if you want to. So you're there all day, getting ready for the next game.
Give me a couple. I won't ask you the PPR, the Silver Pigskin. Who are a few guys you're looking forward to watching play this year?
On youth or on the high school level?
On the high school level.
On the high school level, I'm really looking forward to the modern day Lincoln game. That's star-studded. I'm looking toward seeing some of these guys that and I don't know too many of their names because I've been coaching myself, but some of these guys that I see on the PPR week after week, but I wasn't able to actually go to a game and actually see a full-fledged game. I just see clips and highlights on them. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that. Cathedral up close. Madison has a team. I actually seen some of those Madison guys when they were youth guys. So now they're like juniors.
They're a sleeper. Look out for them.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on Madison. Everyone's talking about modern day Lincoln and Cathedral. I say watch Madison.
You always gotta watch Madison. Rick Jackson does a great job over there. The Tigers. I'm a Tiger, so I'm always going to be one to see the Tigers and see how they do and progress. And then I have some guys at San Diego High that I'm definitely going to be watching those guys week 1 to see how they finish out their seasons.
Can I ask you a football question?
Yeah.
When you go to a game as a spectator, I know when you go to a game as a spectator, how do you watch it? What are you looking at? You watch it like I do or like Burt does, where a butterfly flows past and gets distracted, or are you watching line play? What are you focusing on?
I actually do watch line play. I was talking to one of the producers earlier today. I don't watch the games like normal people watch games. I've been in it so long to see games from even when I'm coaching. When the crowd is cheering and stuff like that, I'm already looking for the next play or what I need to do. So I'm watching the line play, who's missing blocks, what gaps, and stuff like that. I went to a San Diego State game in Carson this year with my daughter, and I felt like I was coaching the game. And she was like, "Why are you mad? scored. I'm like, nah, he missed his team. So I'll be there. He has some of the great tacos. He had them at Lincoln High School and stuff like that. He has a team out there. And so I'll be out there today on my social media. You'll see a little bit of that.
Well, Coach, we're going to wrap this up. We hit the 21-minute mark. Just so you know, we're going to start shooting stuff in the first week of August, so get ready. Have your names ready. We're looking forward to the James Gang. I want to use, do you remember James Gang, Joe Walsh, the music?
No, I don't listen to that genre of music.
I'm the oldest guy here, so Coach, you're probably not going to like your theme music because it's a 70s power trio. But
Wow.
But you'll just roll with the punches. We're excited to have you with us. There will be assorted live appearances throughout the PPR season, be it the pregame shows, or maybe even we'll get you to stay up late some nights to talk about certain things. But we're looking forward, we want to get into these kids' homes even sooner, and we figured you're our conduit.
Well, I got you, and everybody watching out there, all youth coaches, send me DMs, send me the highlights, send me stories and stuff like that. I'll be out there. I'll be at Eastlake. I'll be at Skyline. I'll be at Balboa. I'll be with the boats. I have connections with everybody, and I want to see all these kids and bring the next stars to the PPR.
On that note, PPR Podcast 49 has concluded. Don't forget preppigsreport.com for all your PPR apparel, and we'll get Coach James fitted up for his first week.